going to switch new business up in front of reports and communication. So we can get Dan out of here quicker. Right. Are we on?
Yeah.
Good evening. It is 6:30 on, geez, I don't even know what the date is, November 17th, 2016. The Vernon Hills regular meeting of the Vernon Hills Park District Board of Commissioners. Could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Robbins?
Here.
Commissioner Baloo?
Present.
Commissioner Kessler?
Here.
Commissioner Moline?
Here.
President Dorhoeffer?
Here. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excuse me. The first item on the agenda this evening is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and/or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items included in the omnibus vote agenda for this evening are the minutes of the regular board meeting dated October 27th, 2016, and the payables less Granger and payroll through November 17, 2016, in the amount of $1,445,563.09. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is the welcome to visitors and guests public comment period. Being as no one is in attendance, we will move to the financial reports for the period ending October 31st, 2016. Marla, any changes? And they are on file? Perfect. With the board's approval, I'm going to jump ahead to new business. We've got a couple items of new business tonight. First item of new business is Resolution 3-16, Truth in Taxation. Each year, the Park Board is required to meet formally and estimate the amount of money they will need to levy to cover their operating costs for the next fiscal year. At tonight's meeting, the board will vote on Resolution 3-16 to levy an estimated $4,041,000 in property taxes less debt service in December of 2016. This estimate represents a 3.04% increase over the 2015 tax levy. The 3.04 increase is based on an estimate of the 2016 tax year EVA, equalized assessed value, and will be reduced based on the actual EVA before any tax dollars are extended. The levy increase is based on the rising cost of living, an increase in Park District residents, and the expansion and improvement of the Park District facility. A truth in taxation hearing is required to be held in any year that the Park Board determines that the current year's estimate levy will exceed the prior year's actual levy by more than 5%. Since the estimate for the 2016 levy does not exceed the 2015 levy by more than 5%, a truth in taxation hearing will not be held this year. Could I have a motion to approve the Truth in Taxation Resolution 3-16?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Baloo?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dorhoeffer?
Yes. Next item on the agenda is Ordinance 5-16. I'd like to introduce Dan Forbes, President of Spirit Financial. Dan, if you could come up to the podium.
Good evening. It's good to see you all again. I hope you have a Spirit letter. This is the annual issuance of the rollover bonds. And I have good news. I wish we had more bidders, but the bond market itself has been, since the election, has been, interest rates have risen rapidly and are continuing to rise. So I think banks generally, we've noticed, are holding on to their funds and waiting for tomorrow where they can get a higher interest rate. The rate that you received, slightly over 1%, is actually probably the lowest rate that we received for any of these rollovers. We do 20 to 30 this time of year at least. Most have been coming in. Did you come in second, Steve? There you go with Dave. He didn't share that with me. But The rate is very good. Most rates have been about a 1.25 for the same one-year piece of paper. So did extremely well. I commend Partridge Community Bank that came up with the rate. To flip through the other pages, there are our normal schedules. The important page maybe is the third page and the fourth page. The third page shows that this is within the debt service extension base, which allows you to legally issue the bonds and levy in the total amount. And you're not leaving any money on the table. In fact, we're within $1.87 of that debt service extension base. And then the fourth page just talks about all the costs of issuance. We always want to be upfront about who's going to pay what for doing the bond issue. And it also shows you what the uses of funds are going to be used for. As in prior years, there's a division between payment of your alternate bonds and some capital projects. So I'm here more than happy to answer any questions. At the end is a term sheet, very similar to the terms that we've had every other year. So congratulations. I think it's certainly a tribute to the Park District and management that the Park Ridge Bank came in as low as they did.
Any questions for Dan? Dan, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to
Thank
see you. Appreciate it. Could I have a motion to approve ordinance 5-16, an ordinance providing for the issuance of approximately $1,001,145 general obligation limited tax park bonds, Series 2016B, for the payment of lands for parks, for the building, maintaining, improving, and protecting of the same, and the existing land and facilities of the district, to provide the revenue source for the payment of certain outstanding bonds, and for the payment of the expenses incident thereto, provided for the levy in a direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof. Need a second, please.
Second.
Or actually, I need a
Yeah, I
Need
didn't
a
get
motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I have,
Yes, Commissioner Robbins.
I'm just wondering, we're approving the $1 million, and then what are we using these funds for? Are these earmarked for specific,
This money is what's considered our annual rollover bond, and these funds will actually pay the larger bond issue, Sullivan Center, and the remaining money from the
Lakeview.
building and the maintenance.
I see,
which
so this is
what
just
the-
money to pay back
Correct,
principal?
Correct. It's just how the levy system works, that we levy this money to pay, only levy up to our debt service each year. So we levy small increments, pay off the larger
I see.
bond that we have.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Commissioner Meline,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes. Next item on the agenda under new business is the WW Granger invoice. Could I have a motion to approve the WW Granger invoice in the amount of $1,711.08?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Meline,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Abstain. Moving back to reports and communication. Executive Director Jeff Bouger. Jeff?
Okay, well, we got through the bond issues and the levy, so, just an update, we'll have before the board next month, Don Hay and Kathy Papp. They work with a company called Wetlands Research. We're working with them in the village on just some restoration work over at Sullivan Woods. And, we've met several times, and so I just want them to come before the board next month to kind of lay out their plan. This is a very long-term restoration project, and a lot of good information. They've got a ton of partners in the area with the IEPA, the US EPA, all kinds of Lake County Forest Preserve District, a lot of people involved. So I want to keep the board apprised of that. Just Sullivan Center and both Deer Path Park project. Deer Path is just about cleaned up. James will touch base on some of the items that we still gotta work on. Sullivan, they continue to move on that. We're still looking at that January 9th date is when they come back from the holiday break and the preschool will move into their new wing. And then just a reminder, if the board has not let Amy know if you're gonna be attending our annual staff appreciation event on Friday, December 9th, please do so. And that would conclude my report.
Any questions for Jeff? Thank you very much. Next is HR, Finance and HR Superintendent, Marla DeSico. I'm gonna get it, Marla, I promise.
I just have one item I'd like to pass along tonight, and that is for our open enrollment. We're currently enrolling period for our health insurance, voluntary life insurance, and our section 1.5 plan. And it's the first time in 15 years that I am saying zero increase in our health insurance rates for both PPO and HMO. So that was wonderful news, every day. And not only will we be saving in 2017 because of the not increase, but last year, or beginning this year, we moved to a high deductible plan, and we're seeing definite savings. I don't want to announce them yet because we still have 2 months to go, and we will try to, after they reach their deductible, use up their insurance at the end of the year. We know there's going to be a savings, and hopefully January, maybe February, we will have a meeting to let you know that it's that.
Any questions for Marla? Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is Recreation Superintendent Tom Ritter.
Good evening. Just a quick thank you to Jason Rush. I never want to overlook him every year, putting together the trebuchet for our pumpkin launch. We launched a pumpkin 110 yards this year. I think that was a record. Much more strong steel reinforced trebuchet. I think it's becoming more and more of a project for him and his crew every year. So thanks to him for that. The event went very, very well. A few events coming up. Our New Year's Eve party, which started last year for the first time and sold out, is close to selling out as of today, Thursday the whatever today is. 17th? Oh, it's early this week. That's right. Early. There are very few tickets left. So if anyone interested in attending the New Year's Eve party, I encourage you to get tickets as soon as possible. Our Winterfest will be coming up on January 14th from 11 to 2 at Century Park North. We'll be doing our usual events with sled dogs and ice sculptures. We are adding horse and carriage rides for free this year as well. It's another little twist to the event. Again, that's the 14th. It's free. There's no registration necessary. This is a little bit down the road, but I just wanted to put it on people's calendars that our annual craft beer tasting event will be on Saturday, March 11th this year. We moved it back a couple weeks later. Registration, though, will begin on December 6th, so if anyone's interested in getting tickets, they can do that online, starting on the 6th. Youth basketball, we're in the heart of getting ready for the season to start for 3rd through 8th graders. But we also starting to prepare for the 1st and 2nd grade program as well. We've only been doing that for a couple of years. We usually get around 100 kids. So anyone with some 1st and 2nd graders that want to get some exercise this summer, it's a great program. It's a league, but it's very instructional. Spend about a half an hour practicing and a half an hour playing each week. We play on Saturdays at the Sullivan Center, and the first day of any activity is on Saturday, January 7th. Will be like a skill assessment for the kids. So I encourage you to register as soon as possible. And finally, I just wanted to mention, I occasionally give updates regarding our Family Scholarship Program. It's going back a little bit, but the calendar year of 2015, we were able to serve 41 different families in the community with financial assistance and provided over $13,000 in financial support. That doesn't count, sometimes people may not qualify for financial assistance, but I will still try and create a customized payment plan for them, which they're oftentimes just as grateful for as that as the money. So something we're proud of doing and keep doing every year. And that's my report unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Tom? Commissioner Kessler?
Question on the craft beer tasting. With the construction, is there any, will we have to limit the number of people that we're having?
Nope, good question. By then, we should be done as far as that space is concerned. The community room should be opened up by March for sure. I think the last event that's being impacted is the New Year's Eve party, because that's right on the fringe there. We may have to we've reduced enrollment a little bit, but beyond that, we should be in good shape.
And what is the number that you can, that we
For craft beer,
craft?
we have a maximum of 300.
How close were we last year?
The 3 years we've done it, the first year was 150, and then 230, and last year was 247 or about 250. So it jumped quickly, and now it's just slightly going up. So we could hit that 300 in a good year.
Thank you.
Well, last year we competed with something too, didn't we?
Yeah, Lake County Fairgrounds has one. It's larger, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's competition. And I think somebody told me that there was a wine event in Libertyville as
Yes.
well. So we basically went from mid to late February, and we picked March 11th. We just thought we'd move into March. It's a month we have some free time to get another event scheduled, and hopefully it won't have any impact.
Okay, so no other events?
Not that we're aware of, no.
Right.
You brought up the wine event in Libertyville. Have we ever looked at a wine event in the fall? I get every time I talk about the craft beer, I get,
What about wine?
yeah.
We have
That's
not.
before I leave home.
We, yeah, same thing at my home probably. It's definitely something we can look at doing. We can do 2 a year, wine in one, beer in another.
Beer in the spring and wine in the fall.
We have to try and figure out the best time to place that between events, but it's something we could look at doing. I don't see why not.
And just to clarify something you said, the basketball, if the kids want to get out and run around in the winter, right? Not
Mhm.
summer.
Did I say summer?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm 75 today.
So I'm okay with that, but want to make sure people
In
know
the winter.
it's now that that's happening.
January through March.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Next item on the agenda is, thank you, Tom.
Yep.
Next item on the agenda is Park Superintendent James Kim. James?
Good evening. I just want to give an update on the Kids Castle restroom. The plumber should be complete by the end of this week, depending on approval from Lake County Public Works and how they connected into the sanitary line. For the electrical, we're working with Lake County, our contractor, to feed off the pumping station over for the Deer Path subdivision. We've gotten approval from everyone involved, so we're just waiting on some pieces of equipment that will meet our needs. We are starting to put up holiday lights through working with Public Works in the village. So they'll be set up again this year at the Century Park Fairgrounds, Lakeview Center, Sullivan Center, and a couple over at Park Maintenance. And us and the village hope to have everything up by Thanksgiving. And they'll also have a map on their website, and then when it's ready, they'll give it to us to put on ours. And one last thing, our environmental committee is organizing an Earth Day for April 21st, and this is preliminary. I'm just looking into what we can do and just putting something together. So there'll be more details as they come along. That concludes my report.
Any questions for James? James, 2 questions regarding Deer Path. Are we putting new mix on the ball fields?
Yes, we're probably doing the spring now.
Spring now? Okay. And did the contractor come out and get back the rocks? Did they get all the rocks off? 'Cause
They
basically-
got all the surface rocks off of Field 4, and he knows he's got to come back again and again and again as the freeze pops him up,
Yeah.
especially in the spring.
Not a great
He's,
place to store rocks.
New.
All right. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, Communications Manager Cheryl Buman.
Our winter brochure will be going out next week, November 21st. Our registration is December 6th, and non-resident. We did do a small survey. After our launch, again, we're trying to do surveys after our regular program. Half the people responded, which was great, and we did send it to a smaller amount of people. Only people who are actually launching these pumpkins. Those are the emails we have, those are the only list of people. But the great news is that everybody who answered it wants to come next year. They all really enjoyed it. And 40% voted for some points. So that was good. Perfect. I wanted to let everybody know that we are starting, our marketing department is starting what we call Park Memory Project. This went out in our last newsletter. We've had 6 people already send us photos. Just asking people to write a little story, send a photo. They could draw a picture with crayons or whatever you like, all ages. If this is a memory you have, that you'd like to write with. And the 6 that we received in last week have been very heartwarming and very was in Sullivan Village. I haven't seen it yet, we were there, so our first try at a small little video. And that's my report for the minute.
Any questions for Cheryl? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Lakeview Facility Supervisor Mark Purcell.
Good evening. We have two upcoming promotions later this month. On November 25th, we have a black Friday promotion. It's being online. You can put 6:30 minutes for $99. Very good deal. We are also having a Cyber Monday promotion on November 26th, where new members can purchase video gaming memberships for 20%.
Any questions for Mark? Very good. Next is the Commissioner and Committee Reports and Communication. Commissioner Kessler, I believe you got something for the school district?
I do. The Hawthorne School District 73 will hold a special board meeting on Monday, December 5th at 7 p.m. The meeting will be held at Middle School South. At this meeting, the core team will present two concepts to the board to address future facility needs. So we're encouraging people to come out and learn about these new possibilities.
And would you like to, actually, let's get to Commissioner comments. Commissioner Blue. Commissioner Malline.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Commissioner Robbins.
Nothing this evening.
Commissioner Kessler.
Well, of course. I want to thank the little learners, I believe, that have provided our beautiful decoration, and wishing everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, and hope that the meaning of Thanksgiving continues throughout the whole year.
And myself, same happy Thanksgiving. Be safe out there. EJ, love it. You'll be with me for a while, so you're a star, EJ. With that, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Meline,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes, we are adjourned.